Well, good morning, YouTubians. It is Easter morning, a beautiful day. Looks like spring has finally sprung. Gonna run out to the chicken coop and see if we can grab some eggs for breakfast. It's crazy how quickly all this just starts to pop. Once spring hits, it really hits. Oop, here's one. It's still warm. Well, I made a little breakfast with them eggs. It's pretty trippy, man. Getting some fresh eggs from your own place, running inside and making breakfast. Once the summer hits, I can grab some vegetables from the garden, make a little omelet. Pretty neat, man. Farm to table. So, just found my gloves. Losing stuff all the time here. We're gonna take the bike off the lift and take a little rip before the day starts. So weird. I don't understand why I even cover my bike. I guess to keep it warm or comfortable, but not like it's a little kid. But there it is. So I got to unstrap this guy. It's up here pretty secure. Like I said before, I always keep these straps on. You just can't be too safe. I certainly want to have this thing hit the ground. With me on it or without me on it. So I'm getting all my stuff together to take this ride today. And my darn glasses are a mess. I just got a pair of new bifocals for everyday use. But I like a good pair of sunglasses for the ride. These things I see every day. I was getting dressed this morning and I put on my Trade and War t-shirt, which kind of reminded me that I got to give those guys a call and order a pair of glasses from those guys. They're old friends of mine too, so great products. A little bit of a tight squeeze sometimes. Trying to put 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag. Story of my life. So I'm going to try a little experiment today. I've got this little wireless microphone that I've been wearing on my side, and I'm now just putting it in my helmet and see how that works. So hopefully the audio when we're out riding will be better. We'll check it out. Well, I'm going to try this little experiment here with this microphone mounted in my helmet. Getting the fuzz out of my gloves here. Oh. Get this thing started. Oh. In neutral. There we go. Man, I like to let my bike warm up a little bit. You know, get some heat in the motor. Make sure everything is all nice and lubricated before you hit the road. I see guys all the time pretty much hitting the starter button and off they go to the races. But I think it's just better for everything to let that oil circulate. Kind of like your blood. You know, you want to get up in the morning and stretch a little bit, get things moving, and then hit the street. So we're going to take a ride down to a spot close to the house here, an old covered bridge. There used to be hundreds of these in Pennsylvania and all through the states here, but now there's only a couple. This is just down the street from my house, one of my favorite corners. A little blind, but it's a fun one to lean into. Difference a couple of days makes. Everything just starts to pop and bloom and come back to life after a long winter. Much like myself. Well, it's Easter Sunday, and things are pretty mellow anyway on Sundays up here, but especially on Easter. Doesn't look like there's a lot of people out on the road. Actually perfect riding weather, man, when it's about 55, 60 degrees. It's a little cool when you're in the wind here. The bikes just love it. I think we're gonna stop by this little house that they're restoring up here. I've been up in Reading for about 12 years now, I think. And I've passed this place 100 times, and it always just looked like an old, dilapidated old house. And now it looks like somebody has decided to renovate it. You can see these fields haven't started growing yet, but pretty soon, all this here to the left will be high with corn. It's wild. You can come up here even a couple of days or a week or so, and that corn will really start growing. You can actually see the progress. It's pretty cool. This is that house I was talking about right up here on the right. I'm just gonna pull over and take a little glimpse. Wow, how cool is this? Well, I just had to stop. This place is really coming a long way. I'm kind of ignoring the no trespassing signs, but I'm not up to any nefarious things here. This is an old house, and from what I understand, it was owned by a farmer back in the day that owned a ton of land around here, and I guess had a huge farm and all that, but I wish I had photos of this before, because it's really come a long way. Think about the guys that built this 100 plus years ago. Would they ever have dreamed that it would be getting renovated like this? But it's going to be beautiful. It's beautiful now. You know, all it takes is a lot of money and a little vision and some time, and you can preserve this history. And all that woodwork up there. Looks like they put this awning up here. There's some video on YouTube about this before it was even started. I'll have to check that out again. You can see they got some video cameras up here, making sure nothing goes wrong. Talk about new technology and old technology, right? A 100-year-old house and video camera surveillance to keep an eye on it in 2025. Speaking of high tech, I've been getting a bunch of new gear and stuff, but what I'm actually doing with the camera now, I'm just sticking it right in my pocket of my overalls here. My beloved overalls. I know I get a little out of control with them, but they're just great to wear. You can put your phone, your money, a little stick of gum or something, some breath mints, so you don't offend anybody. But we'll see how it works. Well, there's my beloved Lowrider ST. Man, I love this bike. This actually had a rear tire put on it. I was kind of not taking care of business with keeping the tire pressure where it should be, way too low. So I beat up the original tire at 7,000 miles, which is pretty crazy. I should get a lot more than that out. A good friend of mine out in Red Bank changed the tire. And while I was at it, did all the fluids and all that stuff. I like to do a lot of my own maintenance, but if it's in the shop and the guys offered to do a little work on it, why not, I say. This bike just wants to get up and go. But all these blind corners, man, I'm taking it easy. Come on, brother, you can go. All right, here we go. Peace, thanks for letting me go. Well. Off here to the left is this canal that runs behind the house, not far. And they used to run barges, little mule-pulled barges, back and forth from Reading to Philadelphia. Well, with my keen sense of direction, I rode past this thing. For years, I've been known as Wrong Way Nygaard, and I say that's even more an appropriate nickname than Shoe, because I can get lost going to the bathroom. Here we are. I'd say it's a historic site for sure. So this is saying that there was over 37 covered bridges throughout Berks County. And today this is one of only 5 that remain. It was built in 1867 for $7,450. And I guess it's the longest span in Pennsylvania. It's 220 feet long. Wow. Beautiful old house. That up there is an old wagon wheel factory where they made wheels for wagons appropriately, right? And here's that canal I was talking about. This is only about a half a mile from my place. I try to get down here as often as I can. It's just beautiful. Some locals out there fishing, some kids being kids. Seemed like I might have hooked something. Really, what an amazing piece of engineering. And I think up until about 1959, they were letting cars drive through here. That little plaque said that a car crashed into it in about 1959 or 60. But probably better off. And these bridges were constructed, I think, to keep the snow off the bridges, because people were in horse and buggy and carriages. So it was a place to get out of the weather. I'm sure they were doing some other stuff in here when nobody was watching. Now there's something you don't see all the time. A couple of youngsters actually fishing. I don't see a phone in sight. Good for them, man. Okay, Riley, were you guarding the fort when I was gone? I hope you were. Gonna change all this tomorrow. Here's Ole, king of the hill, up there. Gonna live off these pile of rocks for 2 years. Actually gonna do something good with them, I hope. We'll see.
Action out on that.
Looks like a big dinosaur.
I want the biggest goddamn rock. Coming in close towards you, old man. What the hell?
What the hell? What the? Wait, it's archaeological. Well, I can't thank Jan and Bob enough for doing such an amazing job. These guys take my crazy ideas and turn them into reality. Even my son's crazy looking dog, Pixie, approves of the job. I can't thank you guys enough. And thank you everybody for watching and supporting the channel. Stay tuned for more cool stuff.